Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're charting a course through some source material that's, well, maybe a bit unexpected, but incredibly insightful. We're focusing on excerpts from a narrative called The Fairies Leaf Blanket.
It definitely sounds whimsical, I grant you that. But if you look closer past the fairy dust, what we've actually got here is a fantastic blueprint, really accessible too. It covers crisis management, resource mobilization under pressure, and that power of working together creatively.
Exactly. So our goal today isn't just to, read a cute story. Our mission is to pull out the real strategic nuggets, the solid knowledge about running a project, figuring out team roles, using what you have creatively for an immediate pressing need.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it as a sort of mini masterclass in acting fast and decisively. It shows even a tiny team can tackle something huge.
And the scene the source material sets up is pure crisis. Straight away, we're in Autumn Hollow, suddenly it's freezing cold. The whole community is feeling it. The description is vivid squirrels shivering, mice hiding.
Even the wise old owl, right? The symbol of knowing what to do, he's struggling too.
Yeah, puffing up his feathers. So the need is real, it's urgent, time is definitely of the essence.
So this isn't just a minor chill. It's a big environmental shift. Needs a real, tangible solution fast. And crisis needs leadership, right? So enter Fairy Queen Marigold. She gathers her team. And what's interesting is she skips the whole should we help part, goes straight to the problem. We need to keep our forest family warm.
Mm-hmm. Clear problem statement.
Then boom, the initial idea, the core resource. Let's stitch them a blanket from autumn leaves.
And that's brilliant, isn't it? The scope and the resource defined instantly. The goal is warmth. The material. Leaves, they're everywhere. That just cuts out any delay waiting for supplies. The team knows exactly what they need to start doing, assembling.
Okay, right. Let's unpack that. Let's dive straight into how they actually did it.
Yeah.
How does this story lay out such a, perfect blueprint for getting a project done using available resources, especially given, how small the team is?
Well, what really stands out is how fast they get going. The source says they zoomed into action, no hesitation, no endless meetings. That shows commitment, sure, but also a surprisingly smart division of labor. It's all based on sourcing specific materials, almost like a color-coded logistics plan.
Yeah, I thought that was fascinating. Look, they weren't just grabbing any old leaves. They turned nature into this, categorized inventory based on quality, quantity, even looks. They were acquiring components, not just leaves.
Precisely. Let's look at those roles. You've got the Ruby Fairy, her specific job. Collect the red leaves, the ones glowing like fire. No, if you translate that to, say, manufacturing, the Ruby Fairy is getting the high-value specialized part, the color foundation, maybe the warmest leaves, quality over quantity for.
Okay. Then there's the Amber Fairy. She wasn't after the special red ones. She was focused on the golden maples, grabbing those shimmering yellow leaves. So she's like the bulk buyer.
Exactly, the bulk acquisition specialist, making sure they have enough material overall to cover that whole meadow. That's a huge scale requirement.
And the Emerald Fairy, scooping up crunchy green ones. That sounds like quality control.
I think so, yeah. Or maybe compliance. Making sure every component met a certain standard. They needed sturdy leaves, not wet, flimsy ones. It's like material certification, but happening on the fly.
This is amazing efficiency. Like an assembly line based on finding the right bits quickly. But then the source throws in a curveball, something that challenges that pure efficiency focus. And this is where, real projects can get tricky. The Sapphire Fairy.
Ah, yes, the Sapphire Fairy. She didn't just stick to the autumn colors readily available, which were working fine, clearly. She decided to add something. Well, something totally unnecessary for the main job of just keeping warm.
Right. She painted some leaves blue. Just for fun, it says. Now, hang on. You've got an overnight deadline. The absolute priority is function warmth. Doesn't adding something totally non-essential, like blue paint, risk messing things up? Scope creep. Failure.
That's a really critical question. But I think the source implies it wasn't just fun, it was essential innovation. It wasn't scope creep, it was adding value. Those blue leaves turned it from just a functional thing into something memorable, something delightful. The Sapphire Fairy kind of understood that being resourceful isn't only using what you find. Sometimes it's about creating something extra to make the final experience better.
Ah, okay. So it's the difference between just doing the job adequately and delivering something that actually sparks joy, builds loyalty, like the difference between a minimum viable product and something with real competitive edge. The blue leaves are the brand value added to the blanket.
Exactly right. It lifts the whole thing beyond just basic need. That little touch of playful innovation sets it up for a much better reception, something the community will value and remember.
Okay, so resources gathered, roles sorted. Let's shift to the actual construction, the how, and crucially, the team vibe during that all-nighter.
Right, the execution phase. It shows their rapid prototyping approach. They needed something to stick the leaves together fast, no waiting around for some complicated glue. They used what was there, silver spider silk.
Classic rapid prototyping, isn't it?
Yeah.
Use what you find, even if it's temporary, to get the basic product, the blanket, made. The silk is just a quick, natural stitch to hold together all the bits the ruby, amber, and emerald fairies brought in.
And they even added finishing touches, again with found objects, decorating the edges with acorn caps and berry beads. Total resource optimization again, turning bits of forest floor debris into decoration. Zero external budget, just pure innovation and local sourcing.
Now, here's the part about the internal culture. This is where so many real-world teams fall apart under pressure. This wasn't some grim, silent, stressed-out effort. The source makes a point of saying they giggled, sang silly songs while working all night. They even sneezed when a pile of leaves tickled their noses. Very relatable, very human. Blend your fairy.
And that detail is so important. They're under huge pressure, overnight deadline, cold crisis. But the atmosphere is light, fun. It tells you the leadership, Queen Marigold, must have prioritized keeping the team happy and working well together. Morale itself is a resource, right? And they kept it topped up with silliness and laughter. That positive internal environment is probably why they managed to produce so much.
And the scale they achieved is impressive, considering the team size. By morning, it's done. The final blanket stretched across the entire meadow, warm and colorful like a patchwork quilt. That's massive output for an overnight job with decentralized sourcing and one assembly point. It really speaks to how efficient their system was.
It's the ultimate proof of concept, really, which leads us to the impact, the value, and the legacy this created in Autumn Hollow.
Well, the reception says it all. The customers, the animals, didn't just accept it, they loved it. They immediately snuggled beneath it, cozy and safe. And you get that perfect, unbiased user feedback from the tiniest mouse. Best blanket ever. Can't argue with that.
No, that's definitive customer satisfaction. It proves it worked functionally, yes, but also that it delivered on that emotional level, that delight factor. The project solved the cold problem, but it did more. And the fairies, reflecting on it, beamed with pride. They got it. They realized they'd woven more than just leaves. They'd woven kindness, creativity, and care.
That's the key moment, isn't it? Where the intangible benefits, the feeling, the community spirit, are seen as maybe even more important than the physical product itself. The goal wasn't just warmth, it was communal well-being, happiness.
And if you look at the bigger picture, organizationally speaking, this success wasn't just a one-off. The source is clear. This became a permanent thing. Every autumn, the fairies of Autumn Hollow made sure their forest friends were never cold, wrapping the season in warmth and laughter.
Wow. So they basically established a sustainable practice, an annual tradition, really, driven by responsibility and shared purpose, not rules. They didn't just fix a problem once. They built this ongoing cycle of warmth and collaborative care.
So, okay, let's try and distill this down for you listening.
Yeah.
What are the concrete takeaways here from the source about strategic project management?
Well, the first big lesson, I think, especially for anyone facing limitations, is the sheer value of using creativity to solve problems. That ingenuity, using stuff like leaves and spider silk. It just underlines that innovation doesn't always need big budgets. It needs imagination, resourcefulness.
And lesson 2 is about the impact you can have even with small efforts when they're coordinated. The source emphasizes even small acts of kindness can make a big difference. It connects the individual fairies' work to that huge meadow covering result. Small actions, big impact.
Then lesson 3 is really the core value that powered the whole thing. Helping others is the greatest magic of all. Now, that's not just a nice platitude. It actually frames the entire project as being about service. And that strong sense of mission is probably why they worked so hard, stayed positive, and didn't get sidetracked.
Yeah, that synthesis is crucial. It brings up a big question for anyone managing a project, really. When you measure success, what do you prioritize? Is it the tangible thing you deliver, the physical blanket? Or is it the intangible stuff woven into how you did it, the kindness, the creativity, the care? This source definitely suggests the latter is the real measure, because that's what makes it stick, makes it a beloved tradition, strengthens the community long after the emergency is over. The blanket worked for that night, but the kindness built something lasting.
So what does this all mean for you when you're tackling your next big task? Well, it suggests the framework is pretty clear. Start with a real urgent need, use what you've got, maybe assign specialist roles for sourcing, keep morale high, especially under pressure, and anchor everything in a clear mission of service or value.
And maybe one final provocative thought to consider for your own work. Remember, the fairies didn't just use what they found, they innovated. And the sapphire fairy painted some leaves blue just for fun, totally unnecessary for warmth, functionally speaking.
Yet, as we discussed, may be essential for the long-term success, the brand, the tradition.
Exactly. So the next time you're up against it, deadline looming, needing to deliver something functional, just ask yourself, where's my blue leaf? What's that one small, maybe technically unnecessary but delightful act of creativity I can add? The thing that turns just fulfilling a requirement into building community and makes a necessary task into something cherished, something people want to repeat.
That's a really powerful thought to end on. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.